So we met how long ago?
I think more than 6 years, I think. Right?
So I was in Thailand since few years only. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw a post
Yeah,
on
right,
Facebook
right,
was
right.
really interesting.
Right.
And I say, wow, internal pugilism Thailand. That's a very cool name. Like that's the name of someone who understood the matter. And then I sent you a message, and you were very nice to meet me, and we immediately understood each other. Was really great. And honestly, in long time that I'm in Asia, then I met many people. Rare to find a person like you.
Thank you.
Very rare.
Thank you very much.
Almost impossible. Like people don't understand how hard it is to find someone who has practiced for a long time, very seriously, who arrived to certain kind of results, and is free to speak. But you were very open.
Thank you very much. Mostly, I all welcome, the guests, and I'm choosing the guests to visit and spend the time together. And most of the good friends, become our family's member as you, right? So only the art that called martial art, it doesn't mean you need to use it for beat up people only or to overpower the others. The most important for me is about relationship, right? It's long last, right? And it can produce a good school, good communities, good socials, right? So this is the way we grow our clan. So I name Internal Pugilism Thailand because it's all clear in the name because we study directly to the internal Chinese martial art. And pugilism is kind of a original word for boxing that is contain any kind of boxing. It's mean like self-defense, fighting methods, and kind of submission fightings, all things about that. Right? And Thailand, we practice in Thailand, and I am Thai. That's the way, right? So the first time that I have a chance to meet you, it's quite nice, because it's I can see immediately that the way that we talk, the mind that we opened, so we can match and talk naturally.
Oh, it was very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Very nice. I mean, I roughly know how you started, but I don't know exactly how all of this started.
I think one thing is that people like to ask me how long that you practice this art, Tony. I said, it doesn't matter. It's matter. You need to focus on the thing that you study. Time is something, but it's not all of the things. Even 30 years, if you practice incorrectly, so you will practice long with something wrong, right? So that's the main key. And me myself study the art from the beginning of my middle school. I got bullied, all the time. So I try to get some stuff like exercise, like running, swimming, and move to hitting the sandbag by myself first. Then after that, I found out that one of my friends' dad, he owned the kind of the Muay Thai camp, right nearby Wat Noi Nopakun, Bang Su area. So I joined them, a couple months after that, I can kick all ass. After that, easier, right? That's the way I began my martial art life. But
Were you like a violent kid, or you
no,
kind of?
I'm just like nerdy, but nerdy like otaku, like cartoons, like to play normally. But some of the how to say the big friends, right, like to bully me, right. So after that, I try to exercise. I practiced Muay Thai for 4 months only. I got quite strong. After that, I met someone, in the park. Then and I follow him. At that time is no internet, right? So he is the student of Tim Caldwell. He came to Thailand to teaching English language.
Was Thai or no? It was American.
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 Yes, Eric Rapport, right? He used to be the student of Tim Caldwell. The thing that he taught me is quite systematic, kind of we learn. At first, I'm quite impressive because, all syllabus that he teaching is very details. Asked him. We study about biomechanic of the bodies, center of gravities, how to use your bodies well and naturally, and in the slogan like effortless, right? So use less of muscular powers, use more about the balance.
Very logical.
Yes, right. Very logical.
logical
I love it.
approach. Yeah.
Because in the past, when I was a teenager, we have nothing much about the martial art here, right? We have Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Karate, Judo, Aikido, just only that. Chinese martial art is quite rare. And oh, I forgot. Before Eric, I met someone during the external style. His name is Mu Bangsu. He's in the temple in Bangsu area. This master, he practiced about Thai sword, Samnak Dap Japaya, not for the dancing ones. This guy, when he call you to do free sparring with the sword, no cue. We pray on. If you got hit, you got hit. Okay, it's your break, your part, it's your duty. But he's teaching some external style from the Southern style, and it's quite rough. He called his art like the martial arts for street. The people who live nearby the street. Because he lived in the nearby the slum and gambler center at Taupun Junction.
Well, that's dangerous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But study with Eric, and we set up the team, the groups, not team, the groups. At that time we used my house garage. We ordered the mat. At that time we have just a little money, but we spend the money, for it.
Okay.
And my parents quite curious about this activity, because they aim to educate yourself, Tony. Don't spend your time with this kind of boxing. It's waste of your time. But then years by years, Eric taught me a lot, and about the principle of how to control your own bodies, how to control your partners. We use the word like submission.
It's a little bit different from what the majority of Kung Fu guy.
Yeah.
Because Kung Fu guy usually, and I'm included, have choose a path around now when you are like 12, 13, where there's not much physical impact. So there is boxing, kickboxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, where you need to actually fight another person. And practices like Aikido or Taiji or Kung Fu in general, even Wing Chun, you don't actually fight with Wing Chun, in terms of like real boxing. So, but it seems that you choose immediately a path where you have to actually match another person, right? So I think it's different, and that is what I put a little bit of difference between you and many other people.
Right. At that time, we practice categories of they pull the principle from the internal martial art as Bagua Zhang, Xingyi and Taijiquan. But at that time, they aim to the technique, how to use it, throwing, submissions, ground fightings, joint lock techniques, striking techniques, even mantis, Tang Lang Xuan. So they make it like a syllabus of these kind of things. And they told us that this come from Taijiquan, this come from Xingyi and Bagua, but we aim to the technique. And we all study about the biomechanics of the body wells, include the anatomical system of the bodies, how to submit people well. Okay, I think we are the first group that practiced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Thailand, because at that time it's the second time of UFCs. Hoist became the champ, right? I still remember, right? So at that time, Eric and Tim also study BJJ.
Okay. So
they brought the art into the class. So after that, I have time to spend with Tim too, like professor, because he's I think he's one of the best teacher in the world that can teaching you clearly, what is this, what is that, why is this, why is that, and that's the way that for beginning of my martial art life. Yeah.
And when real Kung Fu arrived?
When real Kung Fu. Yeah, it seems like the destiny, because the thing that they taught me, include the name of the art, original art, like Bagua Zhang, Taiji, and Xingyi. Then I'm always curious at that time, it's nothing like in Thailand because no Bagua, no Taiji. There is Taiji, but not the type that I'm interested in, and also Bagua, Xingyi, no. Then once years pass by, then I have a chance that I heard that one of the master, he has the group class in Lumpini Park. He's come from North China, Changchun, Jilin. He teaching Bagua Zhang. Right. So the first year I joined the group, he just left to China. Okay. Because he will stay here for 3 months, years.
Okay, was not living here.
Yeah, right. Then I practiced until I met him next year. After that, then he taught me kind of traditional stuff because I'm quite obsessed the name from the technique that I learned before that it's come from Bagua Zhang, right? I'm curious. Yes.
Because in what you were doing before, which I'm familiar with, but maybe the people who watch the interview are not. Tim Cartmel was like incorporating some elements of Bagua, especially into jiu-jitsu and into ground fighting, and right?
Yes, but he has some stuff like stand-up fighting. Most of the Chinese technique, people confuse things. How different between joint lock techniques, like Japanese style or the other styles. Chinese style, our art. We are also we apply the techniques, half stand, half sit. We never sit on the floor, and mostly of the technique is submit people, when we stand. Okay. So that's differently. So he brought that from Bagua, Taiji, and Xingyi. That's make things different. Okay.
It makes you curious.
Yes, right.
About oh my God, he say Taiji. What is Taiji?
Right. And it's already practical. At that time, no internal concept much. It's about biomechanics system and anatomical system that you learn how to control people with this angle, that angle, how to make your body alignment stay in good shape that you ready to use it, right? Effortless. Okay, so that's the way. So I met Shifu Li Weidong, right? He is the disciple of Zhang Xiafan. Zhang Xiafan is a disciple of Guo Guming. Okay. Guo Guming is a disciple of Liang Zhenpu. Liang Zhenpu himself is a disciple of Dong Haishuan. Okay, so that's the way. But I'm still curious because he taught me to circle walking. I have the question as well, why? So I try to study deeper from my Shuye, Mr. Zhang Xiafan. So I went to Changchun, China, and stayed with him for a while. Then he can answer me all, right? Circle walking, why we need to do this, how we can do it,
okay.
Which way, right, to make it correctly. What is the purpose that you're doing, right? Without that, if you want to do just circle walking, you can go to, Thai temple, then you can do walking like that too. So that's the way. So I realized that the meditations pattern like that is not just meditate yourself. It's increased, your abilities from the bodies, thinking with your mind to the natures to gain more power. It's like you are the good magnifier. You are the one that hold it. When you hold the magnifier to want to burn the head of the match, you need to keep it stay steady in all axes. The distance between the magnifier and the head of the mat and X, Y, Z should be perfect at the time, right? So if you use your intentions and the focus, to these kind of things and practice it, it will increase the abilities of the techniques. You use less of your power, but you use your power to coordinate with your partner, power, and control them. Okay, that's the way.
This is what actually I was initially very surprised that when I met you the first time, because this concept in China, mainland China, it's common knowledge among people like us or masters or my masters. When they speak with each other, like they speak in these terms. But it seems completely alien to the large majority of Western practitioners that they don't understand because nobody explained to them in practice that the construction, the building of your own power is together with the technique. And many things, like for example, cycle walking, is to increase power, to create a power that doesn't exist before, and you need that power in order to make the techniques, alive.
Yes.
So that was a lot.
Yes. It's kind of difficult for the next generations to understand about this because I am the person first stage that I'm crazy about the technique. Because the book that Tim translate, one of them is named Practical Shin Nafa. The one that write it is Zhao Dayuan Xuansan. He is the one of disciple of Li Zhiming, right? Two of them, Li Zhiming and Guo Guming, is the same levels. Yes. And Li Zhiming himself stay in Beijing, right? Guo Guming stay in the north. So Mr. Zhao Dayuan wrote the book very details, like the textbooks of Qin Nafa. They analyze about the body mechanics around the bodies, every joints, nerve system, muscle, skeletons, all system of the body and how to submit people. Then I'm quite, obsessed with it. So I try to start all of the technique. That's first stage of mine. And Eric and Tim solutions make me understand about the principle how to use a technique very deep. Normal people who practice Chin Nafa or throwing or joy lock technique is loose because they just follow the physical move fully. They don't understand about the biomechanics of the bodies and how it works. How, right? So you need to explain every single move that how you can submit people. Not just follow pattern, then you can submit people. No. That's why, people always laughing, is this practical or not, the Chin Nafa. About the other, I'm not so sure about that. But, about myself, I never miss it. I never miss it, Even now, people saw the technique I use, look minimal techniques. But, they're curious that, it's practical, that's kind of, that's your student. That's why, they submit on you. But no, I can't do it for everyone. Actually,
No,
yeah.
I have very little consideration at the moment about those traditional martial arts that do not involve any kind of building power, biomechanics, like proper internal biomechanics, because in most of cases they won't work, or they will work against some a drunk person or a person that is inferior to you of size, weight, technique. Yeah, it may happen that you win over those people, but it doesn't actually improve yourself in terms of like how much power you can deliver, how much power you can receive, and stuff like this, which of course are very important things. And
people, at first stage, they try to submit the others by force, try to apply the aggressive, physical techniques to the others.
yeah,
But in reality, let me tell you the details about this. We never try to control the enemies by forcing on them. We lead the enemies to do it by themselves, to stay in the worst position by themselves. So it's like fishing. It's not just you have like the good bait, good hook, right? So that's not enough. You need to make the bait and the hook and all stuff like look like natural stuff that fish want to eat. So I will not go to the river and try to catching the fish. I fishing, okay? So, but you need to learn about yourself truly deeply to understand yourself first and balancing yourself before you want to apply the technique to the others. The others, they are not the others. You need to make them become a piece of yours that you can control them perfectly. And they submit themselves, not us. We use our power to manipulate them.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Manipulate them is not force them. Manipulate their life energies. Right. Stick with us. So we call Nian, Na.
Yep.
Right. So that's the way. So we never spend our power to control them. We use our power, control their own power to control themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I see is that, the famous 4 ounces that control 1,000.
Yes.
It's the problem is having those 4 ounces. Like the
Right.
large majority of people don't have any negun, they don't develop any power.
Yes.
So you need some smart power to, lead the other person where you want it. So in that case, the person can be as strong as he wants. But when you have those 4 ounces that manages, body weight, balance, and everything, is pretty much easy. You can lead the person, as you say, where he wants to be. So, but it's not easy to show that to people that are more concerned about the actual movements. I put this like this, I put this. It's not really
Oh,
like
it's very common, because like us, when we began our martial art life, we have no idea, we just follow the path of the master. And most of the master, they actually, some of them, they know what exactly they're teaching us, but some of them, they're not, they doesn't know. So they try their best, like pattern, form, some application. It looks so clear and wow, it's practical application. It is, but to apply it in a real situation is very difficult. Because what? It's not go into the natural way. That's why. Okay? So it's like, you need to, at first, you need to learn about yourself first, about the structure of your bodies. How do you learn about the structure of your own? You need to use your intent, your mind, to look inside your bodies. Begin from, the structure first. The main structure is the gu, the skeleton posture, right? Because, everything's who stay between earth and heaven, and in the scientific space we call center of gravities. The gravity always pass through our bodies, endless. I cut my finger now, it will fall directly straight, because the gravity is. So your duty is try to maintain your structure, absorb the gravities, but never against it. It's like the pole. The pole itself, if you pull it up and try to make it stand without connect to the floor or the ceiling, just push, they fall. Even the pole itself is very strong. But the first choice, if we connect the ceiling with the pole and we try to push it, more difficult. Okay, now we disconnect from the ceiling, we connect to the floor, we try to push it. It's still difficult, but we can. We try to move it more, and then it will collapse, right? But when the ceiling and the floor connect with this pole has abilities, right? The floor is pushing up to support the ceiling is pressing down to the floor. So it doesn't move, but it moves. It moves, but it doesn't move. So this is the way, it looks steady, but when you kick this pole, they will kick you back. But naturally, so this is the way that, you can see that abilities of natural force. First priority you need to do is like, you are the pole. If you make the crack along the pole, the gravity's power will destroy you by naturally.
Yep.
So you need to retain these principles all the time. The thing that you can use, only thing that you can use is the mind.
Yeah, no, what I found is that what actually, recharged me as in my passion for Kung Fu is that finding that all of these elements are not just elements that you say and you stay and nothing happens, but are things that you actively have to do. So you need to be the pole in this case. You actually need to push up and to push down. When you find the balance, now you try to bring it around. It would be very hard, and then a little bit faster, a little bit left and right, and then round, and then why you go slow and so on. So it's very active.
Yes.
So it's slow, maybe, but it's active and make you sweat. So there is a a lot of effort
Yes.
in internal martial arts. That people usually just practice relaxing as a form of meditation, but that will bring you absolutely nowhere.
Yes, this thing, I think 99% that, of the martial art practitioners, they are still doing it, without purpose. Because they have no shit about what exactly they are doing. That's why. When we stand, we just not torture ourselves to stand for long period, for just that. That's why, every processing that you practice martial art, you need to have the question, why? How? Right. Why I need to do this? And how I make it correctly? Why is the goal that, I'm doing this thing? So you need to have that. I just, give you the direction easily, to stand. When you stand, please tell me, which part of your body is stronger, the front part or the rear part. When someone puts you, yes?
Yeah. If you're just standing,
Yes, right. You're just standing.
should be all.
Yeah, you're just standing. If I push you from the front, or I push you from the back side, which part of the body is stronger?
That's a good question. Yeah, but people usually don't ask these
Yes,
kind
right.
of questions. Yeah.
You just stand. They need to understand the biomechanics of the bodies, which part that's strong by naturally. I give you the answers. The back side is stronger than the front. Then the question will happen again to my student. Why? Why? So this is a way. Because you can see, our feet has an L shape, support to the tibia and linking to the waist, and to the backbone. Why? The L shape, if you push from the back side, the tip of the toe, it will support body naturally. Why? Because, we have the eyes in front. The back side, we don't have the eyes. So the nature is create the posture of the body is like this way. That's number one, rule one. It's called axis, front and rear axis. That how to make it strong. Then, after that, okay, I told you that the rear side is stronger. And now, next step, how you can make the front stronger? How? Why? Again, the front side, if they push you from the front, the force will go to the end of the sole of the feet. That's small especially. So you must relax your knee a bit. Try to move your CG, center of gravity, to the center of the feet. So the front will gain more abilities to get it stronger. That's the way. And I have a couple of exercises that I need to fix, right? But I cannot tell you guys. I just keep it in my school first. Okay, the side of the body, how to make it strong. This is the way, right? So it's like the pole. If you have the good structure of, pole, you put something on it, you can tell it's hang on it. If you put the ceiling on it, it's carry it. If you put the floor under it, it's like press. So you can see, you need to find out how to fixing your body. Because the body is more complex than the pole. It contains many elements. That's why you need to use more mind to go inside it. And why we need to stand for long. See, the next step. Because, we was born for a decade. We correcting, some the habit, even good or bad habit. So when you go to shopping, at the first period hours of shopping, you feel nothing. But after that 3 hours, or like you, photographer, professional photographer, when you hold, at first minute you hold the camera, it's okay. But a couple of hours, differently. Because it's all against, the gravities. So you must align your body in the best posture. Effortless, and stay long last. That's why, like the old pine tree, it can stay between sky and earth for 1,000 years. You can see what? Some branch of the tree, like sprouts, too soft, it got bit from the animals and eat. Because it's too soft. If too dry, the wind is broke, and falling down to the ground. And if you left just, the perfect ultimate branch, that's still alive for 1,000 years. That's the way. Because they're done against the gravities. They're living along the gravities.
Yeah, they live in.
That's the way.